news package for today, Monday 24th December 2018. In our lead stories nationally, motion of no confidence debated in the National Assembly today, Monday 24th December, and Vaughan Radio hosts Children's Christmas Party. Regionally, Guyana government fails in a no confidence vote. In the international news, Nawaz Sharif, Pakistan's ex-prime minister, sent back to jail for corruption. And in sporting headlines, West Indies beat Bangladesh in T20 decider. We will have the details to these and other stories after this short break.
Another look.
Different from how you've seen it before.
Another look.
Takes an in-depth look into business, politics, science, technology, religion, and more.
Another look.
Featuring documentaries from the BBC, regional features, and local ones too.
Another look.
Every Monday at 3 p.m. on the Eastern Caribbean's Powerhouse.
Wow.
Welcome back and on to our national news segment. A motion of no confidence filed against the Prime Minister Harris and his Team Unity government began debates in the National Assembly today, Monday 24th December 2018. The sitting began shortly after 1 p.m. Leader of the opposition and the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party, Dr. the Honorable Denzil Douglas, filed the motion with the clerk of the National Assembly on December 11th, 2018. Dr. Douglas cites the high level of corruption within the government and the poor leadership of the Prime Minister, Dr. the Honorable Timothy S. Harris, among the grounds for this case. The proceedings were carried live here on Vaughan Radio. And Vaughan Radio, the Eastern Caribbean's powerhouse, held its brought some Christmas cheer to the children on the island.
This is the playground for 2018, and we're having a Christmas party for the kids on Christmas Eve right here on Vaughan Radio, and it starts at 2 p.m. so get the kids here on time, because we have organized to get Santa Claus, the real one, here, and he has to move on to other places, to other islands, right? Bookings are tight, so you make sure that you're here. Parents, come along with the kids, spend about an hour or two, help us to look after them. So make sure that all of us contribute, make sure that the kids have a wonderful time for Christmas.
That is host of Vaughan Radio's Playground, Mr. Everett Webber Herbert. The party, which was held at the station's premises in Bath Village today and began at 2 o'clock, saw partnership with a number of individuals and business places to host the event.
While listening to the ad about the party, it come to my mind that I think I could contribute something, whatever little it is. And knowing that it does the suckers, I say, you know what? Let me send over 100 of them for Weber and the kids. I'm an Nevision too. I have nothing to lose. The kids there, and I just like to support them. The station got a wide following, and it's a great thing. It's a great thing, I tell you.
That is one of the sponsors of Vaughan Radio's Christmas Party, Mr. Cynric Chuki de Costa. The Christmas party saw a number of individuals, including adults, come out to show their support. And the government of St. Kitts and Nevis Poverty Alleviation Program was launched simultaneously in St. Kitts and Nevis at 9 p.m., that is at 9 a.m. today, Monday 24 December 2018. In St. Kitts, the ceremony took place at the Independence Square, Basseterre, while the venue for the Nevis ceremony was the Memorial Square in Charlestown. It was announced earlier this month that the program would be launched on December 21st. However, the government said the delay stemmed from not being able to verify all the necessary information provided by applicants to the program. A statement from the government indicated that the initial payment will be done via the distribution of checks. However, subsequent payments will be applied to debit cards provided by the government through a partnership with the Caribbean Credit Card Corporation, CCC. The Poverty Alleviation Program is being administered through the Ministry of Social Development on the St. Kitts and the same ministry within the island, that is within the Nevis Island Administration. And the Forensic Department of the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force, RSCN-PF, has a new director, and Mrs. Latoya Lake Marshall has made it clear that she is ready to work. In her introductory remarks at a commissioner's lecture on Wednesday morning, December 19th, Mrs. Lake Marshall said that she was proud to be appointed as the forensic director. She also said that her duty in St. Kitts is to make you, referring to the officers, stronger at what you do. Mrs. Lake Marshall hails from Antigua and Barbuda. In May 2001, she graduated from the John Jay College of Criminal Justice in New York with a Bachelor of Arts degree in Criminal Justice with concentrations in Police Studies, Forensics, Criminology and Law, and a minor in Advanced English. She also brings a wealth of experience and is passionate, that is, about crime fighting and the implementation of advanced forensic strategies to act as a deterrent to crime. And finally, in our national news segment, Ruckus H.E., performing his song Good Vibes, was crowned Sugar Mass 47 Soca Monarch on Friday evening, December 21st. Performing in front of a large crowd at Carnival City, Kasim Ruckus H.E. Pemberton amassed a total of 373 points to beat out 11 competitors. Barry C. took the first runner-up spot, gaining a total of 357 points, while 2018 Monarch Mr. Hype came third with 354 points and KO fourth with 335 points. That concludes our national news segment. You can visit our website at www.vaughanradio.com, our Facebook page at Vaughan Radio, and also our YouTube channel, also at Vaughan Radio. News from across the region comes up next.
That's right, it's that time of the year once again, where your bank, the Bank of Nevis Limited, is offering very low interest rate on brand new vehicles. But that's not all. We are offering a discounted bill of sale and your insurance payment will be covered. So visit us today or just dial 869-469-5564 and speak to our very experienced lenders. My bank, your bank, our bank. The Bank of Nevis Limited, improving the quality of life. Like us on Facebook.
If you wanna go and take a ride with me, we three willing in the four with the cozies. So why do I live this way? Must be the money.
Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back and on to our regional news segment. Out of Guyana, a lawmaker from the ruling coalition in Guyana voted late Friday with the opposition for a no-confidence motion, bringing down the administration of President David Granger and forcing fresh elections by March. Government legislator Sharanda Spasad said, and I quote, "I voted with my conscience." The main opposition People's Progressive Party, PPP, said it was emboldened by the coalition's poor showing in November's midterm elections. The PPP picked up several seats in places that had recently been a stronghold for parties that form part of the political alliance known as a Partnership for Unity. The vote now means that elections will have to be held, even though Granger said that he still has nearly 2 years left in his constitutional term. Opposition leader and former President Bharat Jagdeo said Prasad might have been impacted by the layoff of about 7,000 sugar workers from the area where he lives and practices as an attorney. Prime Minister and head of the Assembly Moses Nagamutu said that there may be outcomes which have not been anticipated, but the outcome has to be accepted. He said the government wanted supporters to know that the coalition would make another run in fresh elections. And out of the BVI, Ronnie Skelton has been appointed leader of Her Majesty's Loyal Opposition effective Saturday, December 22nd. Governor Justus Jaspert made the announcement on Friday, one day after receiving a letter from Skelton requesting that he be appointed leader of the opposition. Skelton made the request on the premise that he, as leader of the newly formed Progressive Virgin Islands Movement, PVIM, now has the majority of the 5 members that make up the parliamentary opposition in the House of Assembly. Governor Jaspert said he subsequently sought legal advice and asked Andrew Foy from the post effective Friday, 21st December. His actions are in accordance with Section 70 of the Virgin Islands Constitution, which states that the governor is empowered to appoint a leader of the opposition and shall so appoint a member of the House of Assembly recommended by a majority of the elected members of the House who are members of any opposition party whose numerical strength in the House is greater than that of any other opposition party. And in news out of Jamaica, Minister in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Darrell Vaz, says government is looking to strengthen aspects of the law applicable where breaches of the ban on single-use plastics, which takes effect in the new year, may be committed. While noting fines ranging from Jamaica $50,000 or US $389 to over Jamaica $1 million or US $7,794 for breaches of stipulations under the Natural Resources Conservation Authority and Trade Acts, he contended that, and I quote, "Too often, in several instances, we are using archaic, outdated legislation and laws that are totally inadequate in terms of the consequences through fines and imprisonment and whatever else," end quote. Come January 1st, the government will commence imposition of the ban on importation, manufacture, distribution, and use of specific categories of plastic packaging material. They include single-use plastic carrier or shopping bags, expanded polystyrene, commonly known as styrofoam, and plastic drinking straws, which are often improperly discarded, causing significant harm to the environment. And finally, in our regional news segment out of Antigua and Barbuda. Antigua and Barbuda is celebrating the start of the peak winter season with increased capacity from Miami International Airport, a key gateway for the popular Caribbean destination. This comes as American Airlines has added an additional daily round-trip flight from Miami to the V.C. Byrd International Airport in Antigua. The new flight, launched on December 19th, effectively doubles capacity from the gateway. The increased capacity reflects the almost double-digit growth in visitor numbers from Antigua and Barbuda and is perfectly timed to meet the demands of passengers looking to escape to the beautiful beaches, award-winning properties, and perfect year-round weather the islands are known for. Minister of Tourism and Investment Charles Max Fernandez said, and I quote, "We are very excited to be doubling our capacity from Miami to our award-winning V.C. Byrd International Airport just in time for our peak season." That concludes our regional news segment. International news comes up next as the VON Major News Package continues. Welcome back and on to our international news segment. Former Pakistani Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif has been sent back to jail after fresh corruption conviction. The Anti-Corruption Court in Islamabad gave Sharif a 7-year term for investments beyond his declared assets. Sharif, who denies wrongdoing, was jailed in July in a different corruption case, but bailed on appeal when the Islamabad High Court suspended his 10-year sentence in September. And the death toll following the tsunami caused by the Anak Krakatau volcano has risen to at least 373, Indonesia's disaster mitigation agency says. Saturday saw giant waves crash into coastal towns on the islands of Sumatra and Java. It is thought that volcanic activity set off undersea landslides, which in turn generated the killer waves. And the partial U.S. government shutdown over budget spending could continue right up to the opening of the next Congress on January 3rd, a Trump aide has said. The shutdown began on midnight, that is at midnight on Friday, after opposition Democrats resisted President Donald Trump's demand for $5 billion for his Mexico border wall. Mr. Trump's acting chief of staff, Mick Mulvaney, suggested Democrats were beholden to their left wing. And finally, in our international news segment, drone hotspots in Australia are getting sensors to automatically identify the aircraft and their pilots. That is, Australia's Civil Aviation Safety Authority, CASA, said it will install the equipment at the nation's airports starting next month. The monitors have been planned for some time, but come in the wake of 72 hours of drone-related disruption at the UK's Gatwick Airport last week. And that concludes our international news segment. The latest in sports comes up next. Welcome back and on to our sporting news segment. Kimo Paul grabbed a record 5 for 15 and Evan Lewis smashed 89 off 36 balls as the West Indies beat Bangladesh by 50 runs in the third and final T20 in Dhaka on Saturday to win the series 2-1. Lewis guided West Indies to 190 in the 19.2 overs despite a late fight back by Bangladesh led by Mahmudullah Mustafizer and Shakib Al-Hassan, who claimed 3 wickets each. Paul then posted the best ever T20 figures for a West Indies bowler to help the visitors bowl out Bangladesh for 140 runs. The summarized scores are as follows: West Indies 190, Lewis 89, Mahmudullah 3 for 18, Mustafiza 3 for 33, Bangladesh 140, Linton 43, Paul 5 for 15. And the Davis under-17 cricket team totally dominated the triangular tournament in which they participated over the weekend in St. Martin. In match 1, Davis chalked up 226 for 5 in 40 overs and then skittled out Anguilla for a mere 67. In match 2, Nevis restricted St. Martin to 145 for 9 in their 40 overs and overhauled the total for the loss of 1 wicket. And in more local sporting news, there was no match on the evening of Saturday, 22nd December as the Christmas Cup football tournament hosted by the Youth and Sports Department continued. The 767 boys could not find enough members, that is, enough numbers to play their scheduled games. However, an intriguing contest was played on the evening of Sunday, 23rd December, when Youths of the Future came up against Bath United. Final score: Bath United 1, Youths of the Future 0. And in basketball news, LeBron James had 22 points, 14 assists, and 12 rebounds, and the Los Angeles Lakers beat the New Orleans Pelicans 112-104 on Friday night. James got his third triple-double with the Lakers and number 76 for his career, helping Los Angeles to its 6th consecutive home win. Kyle Kuzma had 23 points, and Iviak Zubac set season highs with 16 points and 11 rebounds. All 5 Lakers starters scored in double figures, with Brandon Ingram getting 18 points after missing 7 games because of a sprained left ankle. Rajon Rondo had 8 points and 9 assists off the bench after missing 17 games because of surgery on his right hand. And finally, in our sporting news segment in football news, Manchester United can still qualify for the Champions League after winning the Ole Gunnar first game in charge. After winning in Ole Gunnar, Solskjaer's first game in charge, says left-back Luke Shaw. United won 5-1 to Cardiff in the first match since sacking Jose Mourinho and putting their former striker Solskjaer in interim charge. They are 6th in the Premier League, 8 points behind Chelsea in 4th. United are in the season's Champions League and face Paris Saint-Germain in the last 16. Shaw played the full game against Cardiff, having been dropped from Mourinho's final 3 Premier games in charge. And that's it for sports. The latest in the weather comes up next. And your weather forecast for today. Tonight, fair to partly cloudy with a 20% or slight chance of showers. Tomorrow will be partly sunny to partly cloudy with a 40% or moderate chance of showers before 12 p.m. The winds are east at 11 to 30 kilometers per hour or 6 to 16 knots. The seas are 1.2 to 1.8 meters or 4 to 6 feet. And your sunrise for tomorrow will be at 6:37 a.m. And that's the latest weather, ending the VON Major News package for today. But before we go, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Nationally, National Assembly debated motion of no confidence filed against the Prime Minister Harris and his Team Unity government, and Von Radio hosts children's Christmas party. Regionally, Guyana government fails in no confidence vote. Internationally, Nawaz Sharif, president, that is Pakistan's ex-prime minister, sent back to jail for corruption. And in our sporting news segment, West Indies beat Bangladesh in T20 decider. That concludes our major news package for today. On behalf of the rest of the news team, I am Marvin Ross, and I'm wishing you a pleasant evening.